First of all, we on behalf of New Age Islam Foundation would like to extend deepest gratitude and sincere thanks to you for having authored a remarkably critical and highly thought-provoking book, Cultural Narcissism, that has really opened up avenues to broaden horizon, intellectual horizon, brainstorming and introspection, especially among the progressive Muslim circles in both India and Pakistan, as well as Europe and America. So Dr. Mobarak Haider, would you like to please explain the basic idea or the rationale behind the book for the New Age Islam readers?
Thank you for appreciating my effort. That has been the reward that I perhaps did not really expect when I started my endeavor. But it's my great good luck that many of my Muslim brothers have taken it as a sincere and sensitive effort to ameliorate the Muslim situation, to bring some greater health, better health to the Muslim people. The background of this effort is my experience of the people, of my people, which has been of, if not more, at least 45 years. 45 years I have been in active political and social life, starting with my career as a student. And it was in 62, as early as 62, when I met Zulfikar Ali Bhutto when he was a Minister for Natural Resources. And then I joined him in 67 for his foundation meeting of Pakistan People's Party. My extensive and continued contact with my people, and not only in Pakistan, but in other countries, Muslim countries, made me feel that we are not moving with the world. I started feeling as early as 60s that we are not moving with the world, that every 10 years we come to realize that the past 10 years were better. This is a tragedy with Pakistan more emphatically, that every 10 years we look back and we say that those 10 years were better. We are in a bad shape now. So that made me realize that there was a serious problem with the Muslim people, that instead of, with all their resources, with their immense resources, because Arabs became rich as far back as early 30s. And it has been now almost 8 decades they have been prosperous people. But in 8 decades, the Arabs, with all their wealth, have not been able to produce one research center, one university, one important scholar or philosopher or great poet or great thinker or a statesman. I mean, those who were in the Muslim world were one by one killed by Muslim dictators. One by one, all of them. Musaddiq, Ben Billa, Nasser, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Sewkarno. I mean, what a long and sick history that we have been killing whatever little heroes we had. And these heroes were not original thinkers. They were just good democrats of their times. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, as we call him. They were not original thinkers. They were not statesmen. They were just brilliant, modern democrats. Those who knew the modern history and modern thinking and modern institutions. But we killed them. We destroyed them. We did not go with them. We refused to move on the lines that they proposed. I realized that all our efforts in the recent history, from the period of colonial rule of Europe to this day, all our efforts to become independent from the colonial rule, all efforts done by the traditional Muslim leadership failed, and only the efforts done by modern thinkers and modern statesmen, modern politicians succeeded. What was the problem with Muslims? Why they were all the time failing with their conventional thinking and only succeeding for little gains that they received only when they followed the modern principles of human society. They succeeded only then. That was an indicator which made me feel that there is something wrong in our conventional thinking. Okay, but why every time that the Muslim statesmen, politicians become modern, why do we go back every time and destroy our modern thinkers and revive our traditional medieval concept of Islam? Why? That was my question. Every society has moved. Why Muslim society does not move? That was my question. That has been the question of many modern renaissance of the leaders of renaissance of Muslim thinking, Iqbal included, Muhammad Ali Jinnah included, Abul Kalam Azad included. I mean, they have been trying to revive a spirit of growth and endeavor, a spirit of inquiry among Muslims, and Muslims have refused to take that inquiry, that spirit. Why? That was my question. And my investigation brought me to feel and understand that there is something wrong with the Muslim basic psychology. Basic psychology of Muslim is of pride and self-love. He does not think that he has any problems with his present status. He always justifies his backwardness by shifting it on to the shoulders of others. He says, it is not because of me, it is because of the world that I am backward. He never accepts that there is something wrong with his philosophy of life or with his concept of goodness. He always shifts the responsibility to the people around him. That is what we in psychology call externalization of guilt. Look, when there is guilt in you, you become a hypocrite. A guilt has only two ways of expressing itself. A guilt will either become a confession or hypocrisy. Muslims have a deep sense of guilt that they are not moving with the world. And they do want to move with the world. A common Muslim wants to grow with the world. He desires everything that the world has provided. Everything, everything. He does not leave one single piece of it. But he all the time justifies that the standard and the best way of living is what happened 1300 years ago. This is a dichotomy between his actual living and his aspiration, between his aspiration and his thinking, between his desire and his concept. And this produces hypocrisy. That is, he lives in two worlds and justifies both. And by justifying both, he becomes a liar unto himself. Now, in this sense of guilt, that he is lying to himself, when the religious leader tells him that he is all wrong, by living in this world, by desiring to live in this world, by desiring to attain prosperity here, he is doing a very, very evil activity. His main job is, as a Muslim, his main job is to please Allah and live according to the message of Allah which he has accepted as his faith. Okay. Now, when he is, from his first day, I, a Muslim, from my first day, I received the sound of azan in my ear. Okay? It is my part of my unconscious mind. I am a Muslim by birth, not by choice. Made into a Muslim. And then my total life has been indoctrination. I've been told day in and day out that what I have been given as my faith is the most inexorably correct faith. It has no defect at all. It cannot be questioned at all. You cannot even think that there can be anything old or outdated in it. It's very strange. This is what I have been told. Now, when I pursue life as it is normal, I am told day in and day out by the custodian of religion that I am all wrong, that I am all evil. What I am doing is wrong. I was born to live for Islam, and I am doing everything that is not Islam. Now that produces in me the sense of guilt. Now, when I feel guilty, I will naturally accept my guilt and try to redeem myself. That is my the normal human attitude. When you feel something wrong in you, you want to correct it. But if there is somebody who tells you, see the point, if somebody whom you think authoritative, wise, your leader, your mentor, and he tells you that it is not your fault, it's a wrong world that you live in. It is not your fault. It is the wrong world which you live in that makes you so miserable. It is all dirty attraction. It pulls you. It is sin. It is evil, pulls you. But good people refuse to live in this dirt, he tells you. And he says, it is a great conspiracy against Islam. They have created all these lures, these temptations, these beauties around you to tempt you, to attract you and make you un-Islamic. What you have your faith, as your faith, is absolutely good. There is nothing wrong with your concept. Everything is wrong in the practical life. Because if you choose that this practical life is okay, it's correct, you will start telling yourself to deserve it, to be capable of taking it, to do anything that is necessary to attain it. Yes, you will make efforts. You will be honest with the world. You will do things which make you capable of receiving the gifts of civilization. But you will not do it if you are told that it's all evil. It's a compulsion because you live in a bad world. You have to live like it. But actually, this world has to be changed. It has to go back to the times of Allah's Prophet, the first generation time. That is what theories came in the form of Maulana Maududi and Qutb. They openly said, we have to take every step backward till we reach ultimately the times of the Prophet. We have to go back. That is progress. Progress is not going into the direction of the modern world. Progress is going back step by step till we go back and live in the medieval times of the Prophet. And this is what Qutb said. The world has never known a better people than the first Muslim generation. The world, the human history, has not known any people better than the first generation of Islam. He calls it Quranic generation. First Quranic generation. Now somebody asked, this first Quranic generation killed each other, 10,000 men in Muawiyah and Ali's war. Qutb said, Oh, you think it is evil? You think it is wrong? You and I do not know what is right. These are standards created by modern times. What they were doing was not understandable. It was beyond our comprehension. We cannot understand. If they did this, or they would have done something else. We are no judges. We cannot judge. It was unique generation. Nothing like it ever happened in the world. If they were fighting, it was also good. If they were not fighting, it was also good. In any case, they were all right. All right. Now, this is sickness. This is sickness which we call narcissism. That is, you don't even have the daring, even the ability to say that my grandpa could make a mistake. So what? If he went to a woman illegally, it was not correct. I cannot say. Now look, the sickness that I have been developed, that I have been given, is so deep that I will say, if my grandpa was fucking a woman in the presence of my mother illegally, I have no right to say that it was wrong. No, that is not my right. I will say it is between him and Allah. I cannot say it is a wrong act. This is extreme narcissism. This is the sickness which makes you incapable of knowing your own weaknesses. Because we visit our history, we visit our past every moment. If we want to proceed, we look back at every day that is past. Yesterday I did this, it was not correct. I was doing something weak that made me that made me fail. That is how we proceed in life. But we Muslims are not allowed to review our own history, even our kings. It is so pity, it's such a pity. We cannot even review our kings. They say, well, Muslims ruled gloriously. Even a Mughal king is not to be criticized. In Pakistan, for example, Aurangzeb is not to be criticized. Will you believe it? Hazrat Aurangzeb, Rahmatullah alayh, he who is so deeply hated by the Sikhs because he did atrocities to them, because he was a bigoted Ziaul Haq of his times. But we cannot say that he was a king who killed his own brothers, who imprisoned his own father and took power and was so greedy that for 50 years he was fighting wars to keep India under him. And India revolted against him all the time, 50 years. We cannot say this. We say Rahmatullah alayh because he was the leader of Islam. That is what made me feel that there is some deep malady, deep sickness in our thinking, which does not, either we do not like to criticize ourselves, see our history, or we are forbidden. Even if we want to see, we are told that it's not your right to review your own history, because everywhere there is sanction and sanctity. There is sacred people around you, in your background, in your history, everywhere. Sacred, sacred, sacred. This is only one part of civilizational narcissism. You have 100 other issues, like it is right to kill. If we killed, we were right. If we did not kill, we were right. If we were attacked by others, we were wronged. If we attacked others, even then we were wronged. There was somebody who was doing wrong with us. For example, only a few days ago on Facebook, a very educated man living now in California, United States, on a note I wrote in Facebook that our history is our religion. I said, to some extent it is right that Islam has been a violent religion. It is not a statement on which you can start jumping up and down. It is something I just said. It's a peaceful statement. And I said, it is to some extent right that our history is a violent history. To some extent. And perhaps, and our history. And suddenly a man starts jumping like a boiling piece of wood, burning piece of wood. And he said, you are extremely bigoted. You do not see how Muslims were wronged when they fought. You say Muhammad bin Qasim was sent in India without reason. They took our 2 girls and it was our right to go and conquer. You don't look at America, how they have come to Afghanistan. I said, I wrote to him softly. I said, look, something is so sick with us. A man comes to a foreign country on the excuse that 2 girls were abducted by some fishermen, took 2 girls. And then he takes their 500,000 women as slaves and sells them in the markets of the world. And we compare it with an incident where a ruffian, a gunda, Arab gunda, organized an attack on a trade tower and killed 3,000 people. And then with his hand up in the air, he said, we did it and we will do it again, 3 times. And you have the cheek and the confidence to say, no, it was a conspiracy, they did it themselves. There are 3 records of Osama bin Laden in which he and Zawahiri, Ayman al-Zawahiri, where they accepted, and then Mullah Umar, where they accepted that we did it and we will do it again. And 3,000 men killed, and UNO gives them a sanction to take the man who did it. And Mullah Umar says, no, we will protect him. They demand the leader of Al-Qaeda, give him back to us, we want to try him in a court. And they say, no, we will protect him. He is our guest and our leader, and we will protect him. And they protected him. Then they sent under the UNO, world community gave them sanction, and they came with their armies, and Pakistan supported them. And they toppled an illegal regime in Afghanistan, which was not elected. It was not an elected government of Taliban. It was ISI produced government, which had taken over by force. And they were the most hated ruffians, gundas of the world, doing every narcotic business, arms dealing, smuggling, ransom, kidnapping, and they were toppled. And you compare it, the 2 accidents, that is, Muhammad bin Qasim came, it was his right to come and conquer the parts of India and take away 500,000 girls and boys and men to sell them in the markets. It was okay because Americans have done this. I said, how much narcissism? How much do we love our history? That we cannot even say that both things were wrong. Okay, say both things were wrong. So what is the problem? You say Muhammad bin Qasim was also wrong, like Bush was wrong. Makes the whole thing so simple. Both of them are wrong. There is no reason we should do it through negotiation. We should do it peacefully. Okay. You cannot tell a Muslim, again I give you an example. I said, I do not accept that Muslims conquered the lands around them because they were not being allowed to preach. Because Allah's Prophet and the message says, if somebody stops you from preaching your faith, you can fight. Right? Is that so? We have no reason to justify Hazrat Umar's invasion of Iran. There was not one effort, serious effort, to send a group of preachers to Iran and that preacher group was stopped. No, there is no such incident. They were not even asked. They did not even send a group, and nobody stopped them. And you just went on the border and you said, you have to accept Islam or be our slaves, pay jizya, or fight us. And we do not, I cannot say this to my own people, that our history has violence in it. We have been doing things which are violent. It is not all history of preaching. There is an element of violence. If you say so, you are no more a Muslim. I mean, what is my faith? Is it so brittle that I cannot disagree with the acts of Muslims? That is the problem. That is narcissism. You cannot, anybody who comes in the fold of Islam becomes sacred for all those who are outside Islam. And you and I may be fighting each other, cutthroat fighting, but no third person from outside can say that you are wrong. You and I are fighting, we are abusing each other, abusing each other's mothers and fathers, and even ready to kill each other. But the moment a third person comes and says, you are wrong, you are wrong, we unite, we say, who are you? We are Muslims. That is our history, how we deal with our problems. That is where I said that there is something exorbitant, exaggerated, wrong in our psychology. And this continues, as I believe, as I see it, this attitude continues. Although the book was meant to arouse us, to reconsider our own selves and our attitudes, so that we become accommodative, we become tolerant, we accept virtues of others, and we criticize our own mistakes. That was the motive of the book. And that is the only way, I insist, that is the only attitude which can make us better human beings in the human race, good people among good people. And then we will find a whole world supporting us. We have so many causes where we are right. We are right. We need so much help from the world. We can go to the world and say, give us technologies. We need technologies. In the Arab countries or even in Pakistan. I offered, for example, in Pakistan, I said, if you just allow me, just give me one simple authority, I can bring you the technology from America, Europe, England, which will make your coal, a huge deposit of coal that you have. They will invest money, they will not ask for any contracts or any rewards. I can guarantee you, because I had talked to some people. They gave me that permission. Yes, if your government becomes friendly towards us, we can give you electricity, a 40,000 kilowatt, a megawatt, 40,000 megawatt from the Sindh coal deposit. And we will do it free. We will give it to you as a loan to be returned in 50 years. And my people said, no question. My governments, even my own government of People's Party said, no question, we can't go to Europeans or to Americans. They are our enemies. Our people hate them. We will not do it. So we don't go for diplomacy, we don't go for development, we don't go for anything that is like the world, because we want the world to be conquered, to become our world. We will rule it, and we will sit back like parasites and eat the work of others. That is behind every Muslim's mind somewhere. We should rule the world, they should work hard and give us jizya, because our forefathers ruled the world. something somewhere in the background of our mind, we have still a hope that the way our rulers, our forefathers ruled, we perhaps may rule again. And that khannas has to be taken out.